What would you do if your boss stole your work in front of the entire company and got promoted for it? Most people would quit, most people would cry. Sarah did neither. She waited, she documented, and then she did something that made the CEO fire her boss on the spot. This is what happened. The door to the boardroom slammed shut. Sarah Miller stood on the other side of the glass with her laptop clutched to her chest, watching her boss, Ms. Carter, click through slides that Sarah had built at 2 a.m. for the last 6 months. Her own name was nowhere on them, not on the title slide, not in the footnotes, not even in the document properties. "Good morning, everyone," Ms. Carter said, her voice smooth and practiced. "Today I'm presenting Project Phoenix, something I've been developing for months, something I believe will bring Sterling and Company $2.3 million in revenue." Sarah felt her stomach drop, her hands went cold, she could hear her own heartbeat in her ears. Inside, the CEO, Mr. Daniels, nodded. "Impressive, Carter. This is exactly what we need." Across the table, 3 directors clapped. One of them said, "You deserve that senior director role." Sarah didn't move. She couldn't. If she walked in now, she would cry. If she cried, she would get fired. So she stood there, smiling like nothing was wrong, while the woman who stole her future took credit for it in real time. Ms. Carter glanced toward the glass and saw her, and she smiled back. A small, knowing smile. Sarah turned and walked away. Her name was Sarah Miller, 29, marketing specialist at Sterling & Co. in Chicago, 3 years at the company. She was not the loudest voice in meetings. She was the one who stayed late, the one who fixed the broken links in other people's decks, the one who said no problem when someone dumped work on her at 4:45 p.m. In January, Mr. Daniels had stood in the middle of the office and announced it. "Big pitch coming, Meridian Group, biggest client we've had in 5 years. Whoever leads this wins. Senior director, 20,000 raise, corner office." Sarah went home that night and opened a blank document. She called it Project Phoenix. For 6 months she lived in it. She ran market research until her eyes burned. She built competitor matrices on Sundays. She wrote 3 versions of the tagline before landing on Rise from the Ashes. She tested it with focus groups on her lunch break. She made mock-ups. She built budget forecasts. She stayed until security told her to go home. And every step of the way, she looped in Ms. Carter. "Can you look at slide 42? Sarah would ask, hovering at her boss's desk. "Does this data make sense to you?" She'd email at 1:17 a.m. "What do you think of the new influencer angle?" she'd ask in their one-on-ones. Ms. Carter always smiled. "You're so talented, Sarah. Keep me updated. This is going to be huge for you." Sarah believed her. She thought she was being mentored. She thought loyalty mattered. March 15th was pitch day. Sarah wore the navy blazer she bought for interviews. She printed handouts. She had a backup USB, a backup deck, and a bottle of water in her bag. She walked into the boardroom 10 minutes early. Ms. Carter was already there. The lights were dim, the projector was on, and there, on the big screen, was Sarah's deck, her charts, her graphs, her tagline in 72-point font. Sarah's throat closed. "Is something wrong?" Ms. Carter asked without looking at her. "No," Sarah said. Her voice sounded like someone else's. "Sit down. We start in 2 minutes." The executives filed in. Mr. Daniels, the CFO, the head of sales. They took their seats. Ms. Carter stood at the front, like she owned the room. "Thank you all for coming," she said. "As I mentioned, I've been working on Project Phoenix for months. This is the future of Sterling and Company." She clicked. Slide 2, Sarah's research. Slide 3, Sarah's budget. Slide 7, Sarah's timeline. Not once did Ms. Carter say Sarah's name. When she finished, the room was quiet for half a second. Then Mr. Daniels stood up. "Yeah, Carter, this is outstanding," he said. "This is leadership. Effective immediately, your senior director of marketing." More clapping. The CFO shook her hand. Someone said, "Well deserved." Ms. Carter looked right at Sarah and said, "And of course, thanks to my team for supporting me." Sarah nodded. She smiled. "Because that's what you do when your boss steals your idea and your promotion in front of 20 people. She walked back to her desk. She sat down. She opened her email and stared at it until her vision blurred. Her phone buzzed. Jake, her boyfriend. "You okay?" He texted. She typed back. She took it. 3 dots. Then, come home. We'll figure this out. She didn't go home. Not yet. She stayed until 9 p.m. because that's what she always did, because leaving early would look like she didn't care. On the train, she called her mom. Sweetie, what happened? Her mom asked. My boss took my project. She got the promotion. Oh, Sarah, I'm so sorry. I worked 6 months on it. I know you did. I have all the proof, and then take it to HR. Sarah hung up and cried for the first time that day. Not loud. Just quiet, tired crying into her sleeve. That night she didn't sleep. She lay in bed and replayed the meeting, the click of the slide, the clapping, Miss Carter's smile. By morning she was angry, not sad. Angry. She got to work early. She opened her laptop and pulled up her email. 47 messages to Miss Carter with attachments, drafts, notes, questions. Every single one time-stamped. She opened Google Drive, version history, January 12th, February 3rd, March 1st. All her. She had proof, but proof alone didn't matter. If she went to HR screaming, she'd look bitter. If she went to Mr. Daniels, she'd look like she couldn't handle it. She needed something else. She needed the client to want her. She opened LinkedIn. Meridian Group. Daniel Brooks, VP of Marketing. The man who would sign the contract. Ms. Carter had CC'd him on exactly one email 3 months ago. She'd forgotten to include him on the last 3 updates. Rookie mistake. Sarah stared at his name for a long time. Then she closed her laptop. She wasn't going to quit. She wasn't going to beg. She was going to finish what she started. Better. For the next week, she said nothing. She came to work. She did her job. She smiled in meetings. People congratulated Miss Carter in the hallway. Big promotion. That Phoenix deck was genius. Ms. Carter ate it up. Thank you, team. It was a group effort. Sarah nodded every time. On Friday, Ms. Carter called her into the new senior director office. Corner window, bigger desk. Sarah's old chair was in the corner. Just wanted to check in. Ms. Carter said, You okay? You've been quiet. I'm fine, Sarah said. Good, because I need you to pull the old analytics for Phoenix. The client might ask. Of course, Sarah said. Anything else? That's it. You're a team player, Sarah. I appreciate you. Sarah walked out and closed the door. That weekend, she didn't go out. She didn't watch TV. She rebuilt Project Phoenix from scratch. Phoenix 2.0. New data, new case studies, new influencer list, new budget that saved the client 12%. She did it on her personal laptop, on her own Wi-Fi. She watermarked every slide. On Monday, she wrote one email. Subject, quick update on Project Phoenix. Hi, Daniel. I'm Sarah Miller from Sterling & Co. I noticed a few gaps in the version of Phoenix that was presented and wanted to share an updated proposal directly with you. I think you'll find the ROI projections and risk mitigation much stronger here. I've attached the deck. Happy to walk you through it whenever is convenient. Best, Sarah. She hit send before she could change her mind. 2 days passed. Nothing. On Wednesday, at 10:14 a.m., her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Sarah Miller? A man's voice. This is Daniel Brooks from Meridian. Sarah's heart jumped. Hi, Mr. Brooks. Call me Daniel. I got your email. We like Phoenix 2.0 a lot. Can you present it to our board on Friday? Sarah gripped the desk. Yes, absolutely. Great. 10 a.m., our office. And Sarah, we want you as the account lead. If Sterling can't make that happen, we'll have to look elsewhere. The line went dead. Sarah sat there for a full minute. Then she stood up and walked straight to HR. If you've ever had someone take credit for your work, comment never again below and hit subscribe, because what happens next in that boardroom is something Ms. Carter never saw coming.